Because I'm not dying. To those of you who think I am, I'm not dying. This is not a big deal. Hi, this is a follow-up video to my video about Ayurvedic medicine and the Kitchari challenge I made to myself to try and eat Kitchari for 1 week to try and heal my digestion. And this, I'm going to say, is part 2, because I have a feeling there's going to be a part 3 and possibly a part 4 in the future. So this being part 2, I'm going to talk about that week and how it went and what I learned and what I discovered, because honestly a lot has happened in that week. The first big thing that happened in that week is I allowed people to stab me with needles and take my blood from my body for the first time in my life. I have been putting off blood tests for about 7 years. Doctors have been wanting me to allow them to draw my blood and test it for a number of things, and I refused because I hate needles. And I had to do blood tests for the first time in my life, and it was a pretty emotional experience because I am severely afraid of needles. But I did it. It was not painless, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So the reason the doctor wanted me to do these blood tests was actually because I was worried and complaining about shortness of breath, and it was really hard for me to breathe from time to time. And she was saying that that was because of my anxiety, but she wanted to do some blood tests just to be on the safe side. So the results have come back, and I have been diagnosed with hyperthyroidism disease, which is a hypoactive thyroid, which is an underactive thyroid, which basically means, the thyroid is the part of the body that creates and releases the hormone, I believe TS3 and TS4, if I recall correctly. Those are the hormones that basically help digest your food when you eat. And I have an underactive thyroid, which means that it doesn't produce, either it doesn't produce at all the hormone, or it doesn't produce enough. So that is why my digestion is so bad lately, is because I basically can't digest because I don't have the primary hormone in my body to digest my food, to break it down. How you treat it, basically you have to take medication, and I will talk about this later separately. I am very much against medication. I'm against prescription, over-the-counter drugs. I don't want to take a foreign substance and put it in my body. I did that already once and it didn't help because, well, in that case it was the wrong substance I was putting in my body, and I abused it. But I just don't like the idea of taking pills for whatever purpose. There are times where I cave in, and I do, and this is one of those times. I have to suck it up. I have to put my pride aside, and I have to take this medication, or I could destroy my thyroid to the point where I'd have to have it removed and be medicated for the rest of my life. So, plus side, the silver lining to all of this, they caught it early. I am young enough that with proper medication, proper changes to my diet, and I can eventually no longer need the medication, and I can basically jumpstart my thyroid to start working again. So I could potentially only be on this medication for 3 months at the shortest amount of time. But what does this have to do at all besides the bad digestion part of it? What does it have to do with Ayurvedic medicine and my plans, that in my previous video, what I talked about, my plans for healing my digestion? So let's just say the Kitchari challenge, or whatever we want to call it, didn't go as planned. I did do it for 4 days, and then circumstances happened where I just wasn't able to, I didn't have the time to cook the Kitchari for the rest of the week, for the last 3 days. So now, what is my plan for the future? Or at least, I take it 1 week at a time. So what is my plan for this next week? I am going to draw ideas from the cookbook that I have And I'm going to just try out new recipes, definitely recipes that are going to help balance my body according to Ayurvedic practices, what foods are good for balancing, and that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm also going to be doing tons and tons of research. I've already started, but I'm going to be doing tons of research on, underactive thyroids, how to naturally heal it. And my hope is that with the medication prescribed by my doctor and then adding in the changes to my diet, to the natural ways of kickstarting my thyroid back into working, I'm hoping that the combination of the two, medication and changes to my diet and watching what I eat together, I'm hoping that it will propel my healing and recovery and curing this. I think this is a big test from the universe, seeing as I come from an eating disorder background. It's no wonder I've developed a disease or malfunction in my body that is 100% linked to eating. So I think it's kind of, I don't want to say a sign from the universe, but a message from the universe that, come on, you want to get better. This is the kick in the ass to get better. And this is it's a big test. It's a big test for me, especially with how much I do want to recover and how much there is conflict between recovery and basically the eating disorder wanting to stay around. So I'm going to look at this as it's kind of like a hiccup in my life. I'm not going to, put my life on hold because I have something like disease or whatever you want to call it. People live with this every day. It's not critical if treated and, we caught it early on or whatever. Then, you treat it, you take care of it, and eventually it goes away, hopefully. This is not a big deal, okay? I'm not going to make it a big deal. This is not the center of my life. Like the eating disorder, it is a disease that wants to be the center of your life, and this is just another disease, and it's not going to take over my life. So I am excited because I'm going to be trying lots of new recipes. I'm excited to learn about natural ways of healing my body. That's what I love. I love knowing about those things. I love to do the natural way and take care of my body that way. I'm excited to learn more about Ayurvedic medicine, and like I said in the other video, I do plan on doing a full video about where Ayurvedic medicine came from, what are the practices, what is it all about. So I just wanted to make a quick, this probably wasn't as quick as I thought it was going to be, but I just wanted to make a video kind of explaining what happened to that Kitchari challenge, I guess is what I'll be calling it, what happened to that week of Kitchari, and where I'm going to be going from there. I still plan on eating Kitchari a lot because it is quite delicious, and if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it, whether you have bad digestion or not. Definitely try it out, especially if you love rice. So, anyway, like I said, I'm not putting a hold on my life. I'm not going to wallow in the fact that I have some problem. This is just one more issue to add to my list that I have, and that's just how it's going to be. So I will see you, I don't know when, with part 3 of this new journey, new path in my life. Until then, whether it's the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, I hope you've had or will be having a wonderful, beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Bye!